Morning Chocolate Bits here, but not for a video review. This time's for episode 8 of Look Back. Yes, yeah, wow, episode 8 for the neck. Yeah, it's a series I do every 2 weeks, fortnightly, twice a month, however you want to say, basically every other week, about the chocolates I reviewed 1 year ago and 5 years ago. Yeah, because I've been doing the channel for that long now, so it's possible to do that. So yeah, I thought it's a good way to sort of look back, see if my opinions have changed on certain chocolates, and also just to look back at what was around then. Something 5 years ago. In particular, you might not be able to really, things might not be available anymore and stuff like this, so it's an interesting way to do it. And I'll put a link to all these videos, all the reviews of what I'm going to be speaking of in the description, so if you didn't see them the first time around or just want to see them again, yeah, they're in the description, so go check those out after you watch this, of course. Yeah, so I'll start with 1 year ago. So let's see, I've done a little bit of a notes on here. Yeah, so yeah, Guyon Milk Chocolate Twins. So these are basically Guyon Spanish company, spelled Gullen. Basically their take on sort of coated Oreo biscuits essentially. Now they seem to be, I think they're basically the same as the Asda ones, to the point where they actually have the same wrappers, so it's a bit the box on the outside is different, but the wrappers on the inside is the same. And Asda do their own sort of covered coated Oreo biscuits, so both white and milk chocolate. This one's the regular milk chocolate one. I gave it 4.5 out of 5 basically, and I think I was just saying, well, there were so many coated Oreos around at that point, and there still is today actually. That I was saying the novelty might have worn off, and I might have otherwise given it a 5 had it been a year earlier or something like that. But yeah, very nice. I actually think the Asda ones were pretty good, and the Guyon ones as well. Really, as a result of that, they're actually very nice. Possibly even better than the original Oreo ones, actually, the Oreo coated ones. So yeah, they're very, very worth looking out for, these ones. But as I say, it might be harder to spot than the Asda ones in the UK. So just go down to Asda and get them. Yeah, and I'm quite sure they were pretty much exactly the same. Had a bit of a sort of greasy coating on the chocolate to them, but I think the Oreo ones do as well. So I don't know. It wasn't too bad though. As I say, I gave them 4.5 out of 5. And I think, I don't know. Let me think. Oh yeah, I think that's probably about right. I was thinking, could I lower it to a 4, but I think they are quite nice biscuits actually, and the fact that they're just covered Oreo biscuits, I think it works really well, and you can bite them in sort of half as well, so if you run down vertically, so that down the sort of, because Oreos, those you don't know, it's sort of like two sort of layers of biscuit with a cream centre, and these ones are basically those with covered in chocolate, and if you sort of turn them vertically, and you can just bite down the middle, and it's a great way to eat them actually. It's really nice, and they just work really well. These coated biscuits were great, and I was saying at the time they should just coat everything in chocolate, all biscuits, even ones that have already got chocolate on them. And they actually went on to do that with the fully coated hobnobs and digestives, which I'll review later on. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, these ones 4 out of 5. I think that's probably about right. If anything, it'd probably be lower these days. I just think because it's been, as like I think I mentioned, the novelty's kind of, well, it's very much worn off now. But they're still nice, and I still think they are the ultimate way to eat Oreos. Yeah, so 4.5 out of 5. And I kind of hinted at it, but I then reviewed the white chocolate equivalents. Yes, the Guyon White Chocolate Twins. If you didn't guess, I gave these 4.5 out of 5 as well. And I think these ones weren't as nice as the milk chocolate ones. Normally white chocolate's actually better than milk chocolate in this sort of thing. I don't know why, it just seems to work better. But in this case, the white chocolate one just wasn't as strong. And it was the case with the Asda ones as well. So I gave these a 4.5 out of 5. I think these ones are actually probably a 4, to be honest with you. I think I will lower these ones. I think at the time I say the novelty was really there and stuff like this. But yeah, the white chocolate ones just weren't as good. Whereas the official Oreo ones, the actual white chocolate was better than the milk chocolate. Better than these ones. Kind of the vice versa, basically. So the official Oreo ones had a stronger white chocolate and a weaker milk. Whereas these ones, the Guyon and the Asda ones, which I believe are the same. As I said, it came in the same wrappers inside the box. Outside the box was different, but just non-branded wrappers basically. Yeah, I felt that these ones, yeah, as I say, they were stronger in the white chocolate and weaker in the I felt these ones were stronger in the milk chocolate and weaker in the white chocolate, really. So yeah, strangely enough. Yeah, so these, as I say, the white chocolate one, I think I'll lower it to 4, and I think that's probably about right, really. But they're still both nice, really nice. So I really will check them out. As I say, if you can't find the Guyon originals, the Asda ones, which are still available as far as I know, and I'm sure I saw them the other day, are the same thing basically. I'm pretty sure that, and they taste, from what I remember, they would taste exactly the same. So yeah, there we go. 4 out of 5, that one. Gone down a bit, but still nice. Now what did we have? Yes, the first of the McVitie's Vibs, very important biscuits. Yeah, it was the Heavenly Chocolate Hazelnut. I gave this a 3.5 out of 5. I said basically you just couldn't really taste the hazelnut in it. Yeah, I don't think this one had caramel. The other two in the series, in this sort of like in this little mini range, had caramel in them as well. This one didn't. Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably, well, 3.5 out of 5. Wonder whether to lower it really. I think I probably will lower it to a 3 out of 5. I just think because it just didn't really taste of it. I'm not a massive hazelnut fan anyway, to be honest with you. So it probably didn't bother me too much. It didn't really taste much of hazelnut, but even so, it should do. And it didn't really. And I found the flavours in lots of these vibs were just very subtle, and this one was even more so. And basically said that if you didn't know it was a hazelnut biscuit, you would never guess. So it was that weaker flavour. Now as I say, sometimes these vibs, the more you eat of them, the harder to detect the flavour is. So it could have been when you've had your first one. That might not have been the case, but either way, yeah, it should be stronger than that, and it shouldn't go away after you've had a couple, 2 or 3 of them. You should still know it's a hazelnut biscuit. So either way, I think a 3 out of 5. So that's another one gone down. So yeah, they were quite disappointing in the long run. These Vibs biscuits, they just weren't quite strong enough. The flavors were just too weak. They've brought another one out actually. I'm going to review in the next week or two, with a cherry one. So they are still bringing them out, but I feel like I don't know. I don't feel well. You can still see them, but I feel like they won't be around too much longer. I don't think anyway, but who knows? But yeah, so that one, low to a 3. That one basically. Then I reviewed the M&M's crispy bar. So basically a bar of chocolate with, well, actually it doesn't have M&M's crispies in it. It has mini M&M's with crispy bits as well. So basically Rice Krispie pieces. It's a bit of a con really. I think it should have either full-size M&Ms that are crispy M&Ms or mini crispy M&Ms, but it doesn't. So it's a bit. They do it with all these M&M bars. I can understand kind of why they do it, but they've got domes in them, so each segment has a dome with what looks to sort of like be basically the shape of an M&M on top of it. Well, that is the dome basically, so it's a segment but with a dome on. So they could have just put a single M&M, full-size M&M in that dome if they wanted to, and that would have been perfect really. So every segment you had, you'd have a dome, basically a full-size M&Ms. Obviously, you'd probably do get more mini M&Ms. But it would be the proper M&M then, and I just think it's a missed opportunity. Probably more expensive to do that in this, that, and the other, but disappointing. I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5. I think basically was that it's not the best chocolate, and it's probably. I mean, I do like crispy M&Ms and crispy, Rice Krispies pieces and things like that in my chocolate. But yeah, I just think this one, I don't know. I was a bit disappointed with it. It was okay. I don't know. I think if I reviewed it again, there's a chance it might go up. But I just think the fact that it was just a bit, I don't know. I feel like just having a mini M&Ms was more prominent in this one, and as in it was a more sort of prevalent a problem, or more obviously an issue. Not just because it wasn't proper crispy mini M&Ms or just full size M&Ms. So yeah, so I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Give myself the benefit of the doubt with that one. So yeah, but a bit disappointing basically. Yeah. Now I had another Vib, so I did them slightly out of order when I reviewed them, going in date order here, roughly anyway. Which is Vibs, yeah, Classic Caramel Bliss. So this was a caramel one. Basically, it had a nice, I gave this a 3 out of 5 really. And I said it had a good chew to it, but no real taste to the caramel. And it's another disappointing one. It has been caramel milk chocolate digestives, because that's basically what these are, milk chocolate digestives with a flavour basically. Some of them have, I say this one's got caramel in. It has been caramel digestives in the past, and they've been really quite nice, you know what I mean, but this one just wasn't the same, wasn't as good, and I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's very disappointing. So while it had a sort of a chew to it, the caramel just had no taste, and it was just a really mundane biscuit. So I think I'm going to stick with that 3 out of 5. I think that's probably about right. As I say, it does have chocolate on it and does have caramel in it, and it's a bit different than a regular chocolate digestive, but yeah, just disappointing. So another disappointing Vib, that one. Yeah, very important biscuit. Vib stands for, by the way. I think I mentioned it before, but just in case. So yeah, so I'll give you that one. Keep that one the same, I think. Yeah, and then from this one, this is when I start doing the timestamps throughout the video. So I only started doing them a year ago now. So yeah, so I did do them at the start, but at the time I didn't put them at the in the bottom right left-hand corner as you look. Yeah, so there we go. And then I think not long after that, YouTube allowed you to put them in the comments as well too. Well, in the description, to have the shortcuts on the bar as well. So useful feature for sure, especially my video. It's been quite long. But yeah, so the next one I reviewed, Mr. Kipling's After Dinner Chocolate and Orange Fancies. So basically a posh French fancy, basically, or fondant fancy, everyone to say. So I gave this a 4 out of 5. So I actually thought it was pretty good. I thought the sponge was actually, usually the weakness with a lot of these sort of Mr. Kipling cakes and other cakes really, especially when the chocolate ones, as the sponge is a bit dry and not that great, and usually the sponge makes up most of it really in these sort of cake bars and cakes and things like that. And if the sponge not great, it means most of it isn't very nice for it. But this time the sponge was actually good. I think I thought that the orange cream wasn't the best. It's only got a 4 out of 5 really, but I think if the orange cream was nicer, I think it would have been a 5. So I was impressed with this one. But just wasn't perfect. So I think a 4 out of 5 is probably about right, really. I think you can still get them. I sure saw them the other day. Yeah, so they're pretty good, actually. As I said, the sponge is usually the weakness in these ones, especially chocolate sponges can be quite dry. But this one, they did a good job of it. And it looks nice. It's a nice looking box as well. So, yeah, 4 out of 5. Yeah, and then what else did I do? Yes, Nestle White Chocolate Munchies. Yeah, this one. I gave a 4 out of 5 this one. Yeah, it's still a good mark, but I basically thought that the caramel and white chocolate just didn't really work together. It's not common really for white chocolate not to work so well with some fillings. I don't think it works very well with multi fillings either, like Maltesers. White chocolate Maltesers for me. When I've tried an unofficial one, I don't know how I tried an official one, but it just didn't seem to work for me. And I think this is another case here where, as I say, yeah, white chocolate munchies, it just didn't quite work with the caramel. Don't know why, Nestle white chocolate's pretty nice. That's why it's still a 4. So it's still a good score, but I was expecting a lot better really. Yeah, I think if anything, I feel like perhaps should have been lower. I remember the disappointment being quite high, but I think the fact that it's still a nice white chocolate and this, that, and the other, and got a nice crunch to it with a biscuit piece inside. Yeah, I think I still gave it the benefit of the doubt basically, but yeah, 4 out of 5 I think. So if anything, it's probably lower I think, but yeah, you can still get them. They weren't Asda exclusive at the time. I think they get them in most places now, but anyway, Asda have them. Not sponsored by Asda, by the way. Just saying that's where I got them from. That's where they still are. Okay, next one, McVitie's Bibs, another one, Luscious Blood Orange. Yes, this one I give a 4 out of 5. Yeah, I think this one was the one that did have a reasonable taste basically, and it had it had caramel in it as well. So yeah, it was disappointing. And I think just generally disappointing. I think not necessarily down to the caramel, but just the orange flavour wasn't as strong as it could have been. The caramel wasn't really as great as it could have been. I don't know. It just wasn't as good as it could have been. It was still disappointing. Even got a 4 out of 5. So it was nice though. It was the only or one of the few of the Vibs that actually had quite a prominent flavour really. And even then it wasn't that prominent. But I like this one. It was nice, and I think, as I say, it just worked. Yeah. So they've done really regular digestives with regular milk chocolate digestives, orange flavoured ones now. So I think you still get this bib one. But obviously this one did have caramel as well. Interesting that they did them both, or released the regular orange milk chocolate digestive as well. But I don't know if they both coexist at the same time. But yeah, this one was nice. Let's say, but just still disappointing. Even though it's a 4 out of 5, which is a good score, it was still disappointing because it just could have and should have been better, really. But yeah, 4 out of 5. Right, so I think, yes, once I did 5 years ago now. So yes, going back a bit. Yeah, so, right, 5 years ago. Well, the first one was Phaser's Biscuit Crisps and Milk Chocolate. Yeah, so I think this was the second time I reviewed it, actually. I think I reviewed it again. I think I got another one of them and reviewed it. Didn't realise I'd already reviewed it. So something along those lines anyway. So I think only one of them's available now, I think. From the old times anyway. I might have reviewed it since then again. I'm not sure but if I have. But yeah, basically I gave this a 4 out of 5, and I think that's probably about right. Because I mentioned really it just needs a flavour with it. It's just lacking something, lacking an X factor, lacking a bit of oomph, Basically, Phaser Chocolate's really nice. It's a Finnish company. I really, really recommend their chocolate if you ever get hold of it. You probably have to import it really. You can get some Phaser products in the UK, but they're not generally just their chocolate bars. It might be some random stuff, I think. But really nice, really nice. Really like these ones generally. But this one, I like biscuits in my chocolate. But this one, as I say, was a bit. It just didn't have. It just only had biscuit in. Normally, Phaser chocolate has a variety of flavors, and more than one per piece of chocolate generally, or per chocolate bar. So it had like various sort of Rice Krispie pieces and freeze-dried red berries and things like this. Yeah, so this one was just biscuit. Now, while I really like biscuit in chocolate, as I say, I love the texture of the crunch and things like this. I just felt it was just missing something, because a lot of other Phaser products, even ones with like fruit flavors and things, they still have like a crunch in them, and even the fruit stuff itself is probably quite crunchy. I have like freeze-dried red berries, as I say, raspberries or whatever. Yeah. So and you have your Rice Krispie pieces as well. So this one, this one just seemed to be lacking something because it was just biscuit. Now, of course, that might be good if you're not really into all your fruit flavors and things and stuff like that. But the Fazer ones, generally, their fruit flavors are either flavored chocolate or crispy pieces. So it's really it's not really like having raisins or sultanas or whatever in your chocolate. It's like having crunchy bits that are flavored with raspberry or whatever. So it works really well. So this one, as I say, it was just notable by its absence, not having that extra flavor. So normally I give Fazer products quite high, but I think this one was just it's still a good result. Still a high score, 4 out of 5. But I just just felt it was a bit underwhelming compared to other Fazer products. And it's just other ones out there that I probably prefer to have because they've just got more in them, more going on. But it was still nice. But yeah, 4 out of 5 I think was about right. Yeah. So I did a couple of M&S products. This is the first one. M&S milk chocolate, Marks & Spencer, covered pretzels and popping candy popcorn. Yeah, so I gave this one a 2 out of 5. I think sounds a bit harsh, this one, really, so I might have to review this one again. But the gist of it was, I thought the flavours weren't anything special. And there was loads more pretzels than the sort of popping candy popcorn. So what it was basically a full-size popcorn, basically, or popcorn, covered in chocolate with popping candy in it, and the gist of it was, but there's only say it was like 8 of those, and there was like 24 of the pretzels, so it just was really imbalanced, and I didn't feel the flavors were anything special either. Popcorn, nothing too great, flavor wise. So it was covered in chocolate, but yeah, obviously a popping candy, but and chocolate covered pretzels, just. I don't know. It was just a bit underwhelming, this product, and and at the time for me to give it 2 out of 5. I feel like it might have been a 3, but I say at the time I was quite, I don't remember being that strict on products, and I just thought this one was just not as nice as it could have been, just very boring, despite it sounding exciting, and as I say, and also just the distribution was well off, So yeah, so I might go back and do it again if they still sell them, but I gave it 2 out of 5. If anything, it probably would have been higher. I feel like maybe I was a bit harsh on this one. But as I say, I just felt like it didn't. I specifically said I just don't feel like it had much of a taste. So, which I think would be a below average score. Would be appropriate for that. So I'll stick with 2 out of 5. Give myself the benefit of the doubt there. Yeah. So sharing that one. It sounds really nice, that one as well. Then we had Cadbury's Dairy Milk, a Golden Crisp. Yeah, so basically, this is one you can get them in Sainsbury's and Asda. So sort of mini Irish sort of Dairy Milk bars, basically. They do a couple of them, Tiffin and I think a mint one as well. I forgot what it's called now. Oh yes, Dairy Milk Mint Crisp. There we go. This one, basically a bit like having sort of what's the word? Not hazelnut, honeycomb in it essentially. And I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. I just sort of thought it was just a bit. You couldn't really taste the honeycomb, a bit too plain, basically. So I think that probably sounds about right, really. 3.5 out of 5. Dairy Milk's still nice, of course, but yeah, I just felt it was a bit too plain, and it wasn't. Maybe you could get more if you had a crunch. You just taste more of the honeycomb. And there's a few other Cadbury's products available in the UK now. Crunchy Rocks, and one was called, I think it was, or something, and just which were a bit disappointing actually. They were like sort of little. Not balls, but sort of clumps, like a bit like sort of the consistency of a cornflake cake, or that look to it almost, with honeycomb pieces in, but also with cornflake pieces in as well. So it was a bit disappointing. That was a bit of a con, that one, really, because it didn't tell you that unless you read the ingredients on the back. They had cornflake pieces in. But the Dairy Milk with Crunchy in the UK, I think that's one that just works better, really. I'd recommend that one over this, I think. But it's 3.5 out of 5, still a good mark. But yeah, just felt it was just a bit underwhelming. But you couldn't taste honeycomb. Just better products out there that give you that fix, basically. Yeah, so there we go. Now what did we do? Another M&M's one. M&M's Cookie Dough Bites. Yeah, this one. I gave this a 3 out of 5. And said it was just probably better and a bit like, I think, basically a bit like cookie dough generally when you get the Ben & Jerry's cookie dough and stuff like this. I think it's just better to be with ice cream. And I was saying if you just put it with ice cream, I think it'd be great. And they're quite big balls, well, they were like really quite big. They're really big ones, and they're just a bit too much. Covered in chocolate, of course, so it did have that edge to it. I think 3 out of 5 is probably a bit too high, really. I think these ones probably, I think 3 out of 5 is a bit too high. I think maybe 2.5. I'm going to say, give myself the benefit of the doubt, 2.5, I think, but it was definitely disappointing. I reckon it probably would be a 2, really, but we'll give myself the benefit of the doubt with this one, but still definitely below average, I think. Disappointing. Yeah, you know what? We'll say 2. I think 2 out of 5. I think it just are below average, those ones, quite distinctly. It's just, cookie dough on its own, not in ice cream, it just isn't as nice as you'd think it would be, and it's disappointing. Yeah, so I know this one's covered in chocolate as well, but yeah, disappointing those ones. So yeah, 2 out of 5. I think that's about right. Yeah, no, it has the giant pinwheel buttons. Yeah, so I think these went away and came back again. I gave it a 3.5 to 4. I think I said. And he said it just got a bit sickly after a while. Basically, it was sort of like milk chocolate and white chocolate sort of merged, look a bit like a pinwheel, with and no buttons, and they had like caramel in the middle. So really good, really lots of stuff going on here. Didn't think they tasted as quite as great. They were just a bit sickly, and 3.5 out of 5 I think was probably about right. But they are, really novel product. Look a bit different. There are sort of Cadbury's caramel counters and stuff you can get. I think you could get them at the time, which have caramel in buttons as well. I think they're called counters anyway, or just caramel buttons, but I think they're called counters. Yeah, I think these ones just don't, they're nice and everything, but obviously you can't really taste well, you never can. To say obviously, but you never can really taste the white chocolate with these things. It always gets a bit second fiddle, with the caramel and the milk chocolate and stuff. So you didn't really get that bonus from it, as I said. I think it was just a bit sickly after a while, but still nice. You can double them up and stuff like that. I think probably 3.5 out of 5 is probably about right. I'm going to stick with that. I did say 3.5 to 4, but I just feel, based on what I'd said and stuff, I think probably 3.5. Since I wasn't quite sure, I think probably 3.5 is about right, but maybe one day I'll review them again. I'm sure they're back and about now. So yeah, again, I think definitely went away. They went away and then came back, I believe. But yeah, so yeah, 3.5 out of 5, I think it's about right. Yeah, so the last one we had was Cadbury's Dairy Milk Mint Crisps. Yeah, this is the other Irish one. You can get, you probably get it in other supermarkets, but I've only seen it specifically in, that I can remember anyway, in Sainsbury's and Asda. It was really nice, this one. I gave this a 4 out of 5, and I think, they did release UK one. I forgot what it's called. Winter Mint Crisp, I think it was called. So very similar to this one. Some like Winter Mint Crunch, one or the other. Really nice it was. It was slightly different, but almost the same. Like I think the mint pieces were coloured green in that one, and not in this case. I gave this a 4 out of 5. This one perhaps could be higher, really, is the gist of it. So I really enjoyed that UK equivalent one. But I'm going to stick with this one because, I'm not too sure. I can't just bump it based on the UK one because I don't know if it was the same or not. So I don't think, very similar. But the dairy milk might be slightly different. I don't think it's quite the same in the Irish version. Yeah, so things like this. I'm going to stick with a 4. It's a nice one, though. Definitely worth checking out. But I don't think it's quite as good as the UK equivalent that came out last Christmas. But this one's an all year round one, whereas the UK one was just for Christmas. So mind you, it's August now, so it might be for sale. Christmas products are appearing out already, so if they're doing it again, it might be already out. But it was a big bar as well, massive. It was really half a kilogram bar or something that you could get it in. So yeah, nice it was. Very hard to put down. That was UK one. The Irish one's a lot smaller. They're quite small bars actually. Maybe not that big, yeah. Yeah, still nice though, but as I said, I don't think it was quite as nice. I think 4 out of 5, yeah, from memory I think it was about right. As I said, it was a long time ago, but yeah, I think that was about right. Okay guys, well there we go, been through them all there, quite a few this time. Well, how many was there? Was it 6? Yeah, 6. Yeah, maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 14 products there, I think it was, if I've counted correctly. I think I have. Yeah, so quite a lot. 6 from 5 years ago, 8 from 1 year ago. So quite a lot there. Hope you enjoyed that. Only that look back at them. As I say, all the reviews, the links for those are in the description. So check those out. It's a great way to catch up on them again, see what you think. I say the older ones 5 years ago were sort of from when I had my old recording equipment and this, that, and the other, and yeah, so interesting watch. I do apologise for the quality not being quite so great, but yeah, interesting to see anyway. Let me know what you think about those if you do watch them. Yeah, thanks so much. As I say, check out the description for all the links for those. Yeah, check out the member program as well. Great to support the channel, really is. Check out the Discord server also. Great to keep in touch with myself and the community. Yeah, like my video, subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. See you soon. Bye.